What's up, my XRP brothers from another mother and my cute XRP sisters? This is Rob with the Rob 007 channel coming to you from a beautiful Venice Island. Absolutely stunning day down at the beach, 5 out of 5. And the title of this episode is XRP is about, the XRP Symphony is about to play. Hope you bought your ticket. Going to be the greatest show on earth. Watch this episode to the end, and happy hump day to everybody. And thank you as always. We're now about right around 500 subs away from 7,000 subscribers. Unbelievable. Thank you so much. Appreciate each and every one of you. But indeed, if you are new to this channel, if you would hit the subscribe button to subscribe, the bell for notification, that like button, tap it, slap it, whatever you are feeling for a hump day. And if you do Twitter, follow me at Rob XRP007 on Twitter. Love my XRP Twitter family. And don't forget about the fine folks at iTrustCapital. By the way, and shout out to Bryce, he's saying that don't forget, Rob, we also have great support. And yes, I love that too. You can pick up the phone and call your iTrust and they will answer your questions. And again, the big 3 reasons why I like them: 0 custody fees, unbelievable. 1% fees on trading, nobody does that. And also, when you sign up, you get a $100 signing bonus. Yes, that's a Ben Franklin. The link is in the description. You got to put in Rob 007 as the code and tell them Rob sent you. And yes, they are also anticipating bringing out an ROI on your XRP, and you can just custody over there. You don't have to have an IRA. And also, thanks, looking forward to speaking with Jim Balzini again at the fine folks at Caleb and Brown. Again, a place that I love to custody my XRP, because why? They have 0 custody fees, as well as that they are a institutional grade custody. Some people kind of debate that. And also the biggest reason I like them is for liquidity, because when we hit the banana zone, I'll be able to execute a trade way up there in the banana zone and make sure I'd much rather get it and have a trade executed than to miss it and to have to pay, like Uphold or someone others fees. Anyway, so links in the description. Tell them Rob sent you. And it only takes about 40 hours to get KYC and to get set up. And last but not least, Kraken, the fun continues. Get $75 when you open up an account with them. They're my favorite exchange to trade on as far as exchanges. And that's when you trade $200. And that's a 40% return on your money instantly in a day. What's not to like about that? Get your iTrust and your Kraken, and that's $175 money on the table and your chicks for free. And last but not least, if you're looking to get an ROI on your XRP OMG, as well as get the highest grade of institutional custody, email me your name and number and a good time to call. I will reach out to you guys, and please be patient, because yes, we got a number of calls to get to. And also I do shout out to Ken in the beautiful state of Texas. And Ken, if I didn't live in Florida, I'd live in Texas, by the way, in that great state. And he is 8 years into XRP, and that makes you legend. I think he got some as low as 12 cents. Unbelievable. Talk about recognizing opportunity. Preparedness, they say success is preparedness meeting opportunity. And so, yeah, he's been prepared for a while, so good job. And also shout out to Tim and Laura up in the beautiful state of North Carolina. It was great to catch up with you again, Tim, and they are doing some exciting stuff up there. Hopefully I'll be sharing that on this channel as well. In the comments, this is from Drantic, says $12 is the shakeout until the real moon time. Yeah, I think there's a lot of credibility to that statement. I think a lot of retail is going to be like, I'm taking profit. I'm letting it take profit. They're going to be out of XRP. And I agree. So for me, no, I'll just sit on my damn hands. And also in the comments, Mike says, I remember you saying that you had a bet for $200 by end of the year. He says, I'm hoping for $1,000 4-digit XRP. Be careful what you ask for, Mike. You just may get it. Currently, we got Bitcoin trading at 108,467, down 4.5%, and market in red. XRP at 240. Ouch, down about 5% as well. And yes, just remember, it's just noise. And it's also just painful if it happens to be that you have to sell some. Breaking, this is from Senator Loomis. It says, big progress on market structure bill. This is music to my ears. So exciting. I thought they weren't working on it, but apparently the Senate is still in session, so they are grinding it out. Could we see that market structure bill actually pass by the end of this month? That would be awesome. That would just be unbelievable. It'd be really great timing too. And then the Federal Reserve, and then again, what I'm looking for is to be signed into law. But when they get the bill passed, it will actually have a launch date on when that becomes effective. That's the date I'm really looking and eyeing at to see when that is. Be watching that like a hawk. Federal Reserve, it says, I know you guys have all seen it. A lot of the other XRP influencers have commented on the Federal Reserve speaking at that summit that they had and yesterday. And I did finally got around to watching that 3-minute clip. And oh my gosh, is there a lot to unpack in that? About 110% they are embracing this financial, quote unquote, they said it, disruption, and for faster payments, quote unquote, and that they're also to embrace digital DLT, distributed ledger technology, stable coins, and real-world asset tokenization coming to an XRP theater near you. That is so exciting. Perhaps that bill could pass by the end of this month. Let's see. That's next Friday. You gotta love it. And could we see the ETFs approved tomorrow? Perhaps so, if we find that the shutdown is over tomorrow or perhaps on Friday. This week is not over. We could still see some fireworks before this week is over. And you know what? I'm not sure about you guys, but to say something is brewing is an absolute understatement. And it's not that something's brewing. We see it absolutely every day. Massive news comes out on a daily basis. Unbelievable how this is happening so fast. I'm stunned by how rapid it's happening. And yes, could we see the next acquisitions for Ripple? Not if, but when. They're going to be great. They are coming. Expect more between now and the end of the year. Could we see Circle USDC on the chopping block for Ripple's acquisition? That would be really insane, because it's like bing, just like I Dream of Genie, just like dream me up some real RLUSD, USDC. All right, and 1 week from today, what do we have? 1 week from today, we're talking about interest rate cuts. And actually, I'm actually cool with a 1/4 basis point. That's because it'll keep the market stabilized. We don't want the volatility. But anyway, so that will actually still see an uptick in the markets for risk on assets. So much stuff to look forward as we wind up the end of October. And for a little TA down by the beach, this is about as good as it gets, by the way. XRP resurrected. Love his work. He says, and we are so overdue. He says we got a golden cross on the best chart of all to follow when it comes to bull runs. That is the XRP Bitcoin dominance, and we got a golden cross. And it's time for XRP to rock and roll. And you know what? We're so overdue. And just remember, the longer the grind, the higher the climb, and that ain't a bad thing, in my humble opinion. TikTok, yes, and this is also another one that's like one of the big days I've been waiting for all year long. That is 31 days until November 22nd. So, and just think that November 21st at midnight, there you go. And then also just another date shortly after that, or as we move into the first of this month, and I'm talking, Swift. It's going to be November 4th and November 5th. We'll see what kind of announcements come out of that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And it's a who's who online. It's going to be at that, and as far as their lineup, including BlackRock, as well as NASDAQ, as well as Moody's. All right, and so this is actually awesome. Breaking news. The Federal Reserve now has a new type of a new type that they're doing for the Federal Master account, and it's a limited access Federal Master account. Really great news for the likes of Kraken, who's been applying for that license for a while. They actually even sued to get it, and Digital Anchorage as well. That will just really open up doors. And I was just thinking about that. What does that mean for you and I as retail holders? That would be really cool if like Kraken allows us some kind of like banking that we don't have to send it. We'll see how that works out. So it's uncharted waters. We'll see what that happens. And yeah, and then next Friday, once again, why I'm so pumped, could we see that Ripple National Trust Bank, their banking license approved, as well as the Federal Master account? And guess what? Their Federal Master account, I think it may be the full enchilada, not a limited one. And also from Brewmaster Brent, as we wind up this episode, to wind us and lead us out of this, because this gets me really pumped, because we have waited all year long. We have waited in many cases 2 years, 3 years, me 5 years, Ken 8 years. So many other people have been in this space. Talk about having patience. Brewmaster Brent cites a Mr. Poole that he says that October 23rd to November 21st, that is a time frame to watch out where we go up, up, and up. What's October 23rd? That is tomorrow on a Thursday. Do we start that elevator ride up tomorrow? And also November 21st. That's the day before ISO 222, November 22nd. So we could start, the fireworks could begin starting tomorrow. And he also cited one other Mr. Poole one that had an explosion. I think David Schwartz, my financial advisor, actually had it where it has an explosion on Friday. Let's see, we're only 48 hours away. Are we 24 hours or 48 hours from our phone blowing up? Speaking of which, and then also just to a note on the last note, talking about that XRP Symphony, I feel like we're witnessing a symphony being put together. You got the strings, you got the percussions. They come in, they practice, and they warm up, and then they know their part and what they're playing. And so I feel like they're almost all sitting down, and the conductor's tapping like this to get their attention. And then like Nicolas Cage, he's going to go, let's ride. And so I feel like that's what we're on the verge of happening. And that when we start to have this march up, that we're going to see 5, 10, 20, and it doesn't stop. And we may have, if we don't have the Clarity Act passed, because like I said, what I'm waiting for is XRP to be used, but it may be that we never turn around. We never dip back down. We go to 5, we go to 10, we go to 20, 50, 100, up, and up to a 4-digit XRP. And last but not least, for the best of last, this is from a price prediction by none other than Jake Claver. He says those ETFs, in the last one that he did, ETFs could bring the price of XRP from $10 to $50. How sweet it is. And then he says the other catalyst that he's waiting for, and he gives those catalysts a 95% chance of happening, happening this year in 2025, will lead the price of your XRP to 3, that's $100 XRP, yes, and 4-digit, $1,000 XRP by the end of the year. I don't know what you, and he goes further on to say 2026 to 27, he thinks by the end of 27, XRP will be 5 digits. That's a $10,000 XRP in about 26 months away. Any way you slice it, you're going to need a bigger boat. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace out.